When you are a bank like Citibank, one of the top banks here in the US and worldwide, and you find out that they are actually sitting on 510 million shares of AMC DR, deposit receipts, outside of the US. It gives you chills because this means things just escalated to a whole new level of shenanigans. And this is actually good for the share price moving forward, especially for the squeeze, because getting to the details, you will see exactly what I'm talking about. So first of all, let's get into what I'm talking the hell about. This is from Jimmy P. He's done some extensive research, and kudos to him because it's not easy connecting the dots on this thing. He posted a couple of days ago, Citibank owns 3 billion certificates in Brazil, which converts to almost 510 million AMC shares. Just one bank owns the float. We've hypothesized this for a while. There are more counterfeit shares than any of us know, and it just makes the most even bigger. All right. So before getting to the details, guys, I'm going to pause here for a second. What is a DR? A DR is a depository receipt. And when you go to the definition of what a DR is, it's a negotiable certificate issued by a bank representing shares in a foreign company traded on a local stock exchange. Think, for example, at Alibaba or NIO, or those Chinese stocks that are listed and traded here in the US. Well, these are not the actual original shares, because some of these companies like NIO, for example, are not even publicly traded in China, where the headquarters of the company is. They are traded here in the US, and that is what we call a depository receipt. So it gives you the actual ability to buy and invest in a company where the stock or the shares are not traded in the US, for example, but are traded in a different country. That's what, DR stands for. And when you come to these posts, Citibanks may have been buying, almost 510 million shares of the DR of AMC, trading in Brazil. Now, when you compare to the 6-to-1 converting ratio, because Brazil has not the same level of, income as compared to the US or any other country. So it makes sense that when you have those DR traded into their market, they will have to make this thing much more affordable, much more reachable and buyable for people living there, because they have way less, levels of income than we do here in the US or in Canada. That's why you have this convert ratio. So when you compare the 3 billion of ticker symbol A2MC34, that actually gives you, 500 million shares. But the thing is, these 500 million shares also represents the total existing amount of shares here in the US, where AMC is trading on the exchange. Weird, right? But it gets even more interesting as you dig even deeper, because, all right? He had to call Citibank operations manager and directors in order to actually confirm that this is true. So he called a couple of people and he posted the conversations here on YouTube. You can see here, recorded phone call with Christian Glenn from Citibank about A2MC34 BDR from Brazil. Now, the thing is, I listened to this recording, but they are not as clear. It's kind of hard to listen to, this person, Christian Glenn from Citibank, but you can definitely hear pieces in there where he confirms that it's true. Citibank is sitting on those, Brazilian deposit receipts for AMC there in Brazil. Well, how in the heck will a company buys almost the entire existing shares of another multi-billion company in a different market, if these are not counterfeit shares, if these are not fake shares? Well, it gets interesting because whether Citibank knew it or no, whether Citibank, it's part of the whole shenanigans or no, which I don't think so, because when you get to the list of all the short sellers in AMC, as of last week actually, you do not see, you can definitely see Citadel here, SG3, you see Bank of America, but you don't see Citibank. So I don't expect them to be a short seller, even though they might be sitting on some puts. I don't know for sure, but definitely if they are holding this in Brazil for a total amount of what AMC is currently trading here in the US, they might have bought some fake shares as well. Now the question is, what will they do about that? If they go to the SEC, it gets even more interesting because they will say, hey, how come I'm sitting on counterfeit shares? We'll have to trace back to who sold me those shares to begin with. Maybe Citadel, maybe Sigma, maybe Simplex Trading, maybe some of these, people with the ability of creating fake shares and putting them out the market. It just only confirms what we knew so far. I mean, Wes Christian, the lawyer, told us he wouldn't be surprised if we were sitting on 5 to 20 billion shares of AMC in the market currently. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how it will push the price? Can you imagine to which levels it will push the buying pressure to explode on this thing once every matter will have to be settled? Because, I don't care who you are. You just cannot counterfeit shares on the market, naked shorting, and expect to get away with it. I know the SEC is working behind the scenes and we all want this to the hammer to drop on them, even though it's taking longer than we want. But I can guarantee you that at some point, because the more you create fake shares, the higher you have to pay for those short positions. But the thing is, with AMC, more and more people are buying. So at a point, it will be unbearable for you. I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you're Citadel, Citibank, Goldman Sachs. I don't care who you are. It's going to be unbearable because this is not your only position. And you have to cut your loss at some point. And that's why I think 100,000 floor, that's been the price we've been circling around, 500, 8,000, 800,000. Everything is possible, but as far as everybody holds, otherwise, it's going to be paper hand everywhere. I'm just saying.